Houston, our instruments are showing that we have a incoming message from deep space. Repeat, Houston, we have an incoming message from deep space. Houston, we'll begin playing message now. Houston, we're going to try and translate that up here. Hold for translation. Translation complete. We'll begin playing message now.
Hey, it's me, Melissa.
What do you do when the aliens invade? Take a shot of MK Ultra and watch Melissa Jade. Put on your tinfoil hat and tune right in. We got that crime spree, flat earth theories, government conspiracies, a complex Mandela effects, unidentified objects of mind expanding, fake moon landing, what are dolphins understanding? It's me, Melissa. It's me, Melissa. Aliens is on the sun or in Area 51. Time travels, unravels, haunted castles, cops are baffled, potential experimental thoughts that make you transcendental. It's me, Melissa. It's me, Melissa. Crime sprees, flat earth theories, government conspiracies, complex Mandela effects, unidentified objects of mind expanding, fake moon landing, what are dolphins understanding? It's me, Melissa. It's me, Melissa.
Hello, everybody. How is everyone doing? We have stars align. Ooh, I'm about to fly. Hell yeah, I've never been to Vegas. I want to go to Vegas. It's definitely on my bucket list. Hello, Edith. We have Harlot People Me who thought I fell asleep. I did not. I was on a call. I apologize. Hey, Natasha, Edith, Susie G. Hi, my Susie. Hey, Sydney, Lisa, Bogart. We have Dana, Grandma Cece, Marjorie Morris, Amanda, Cool Gamer, Trish, Homer, Give Us the Grudge, The Ring, The Swamp Thing, ha ha ha. Hi, Con Artist, we've missed you. Curious Christine, Artemis Prime, Sprinkle Dog, Not Fragile Like a Bomb, It's Not Rocket Science Dude, Sarah Bellum, Stacy Ann, Emily, Little Red oh hell yeah, it is. I'm in my PJs. I'm ready. Alexander, Toe Beans. I like that. Give me a chant. Kimberly, Wolfie, Creative Minds, and anybody else I missed. How is everyone doing tonight? Heads up, we will be over on Patreon tomorrow. So keep an eye out. I'll probably schedule it out tonight. You know what? Probably tomorrow what I'm going to do is I'm going to upload that lost interview from Letecia and Al's neighbor that is no longer available on YouTube from the WTAF, Wicked Truth and F-Bombs. It definitely formed my opinion of Al and leading me to believe he had a level of involvement. I believed Al had a level of involvement after the fact, based on this interview that we now know is inaccurate. So please keep that in mind. Okay. Hi, Cutie Pie. I cannot forget my Cutie Pie. Hi, Georgia. Yes, Scott. So there is the Wicked Truth and F-Bombs, and they were a channel that they were a very good channel that during the case, as it was breaking before Letecia was arrested, if you guys remember from the case files, there is how do they put it? There was claims of abuse that involved Al. And this neighbor came on WTAF's platform and did an interview talking about seeing Al and Letecia loading up a gun in the hours of searching for Gannon. It was a big thing, but that is no longer available. We've reviewed it on my channel a long time ago with Allie and Bendy. But sometimes it's hard because you don't want to push false information. So I need, yes, Katie. Yep, me too. Because in real time, and it's a good lesson to be learned while following active current cases, that now in hindsight, we know all of this not to be true. We know who this person is, why they were pushing a narrative, but in the real time, right? It very much formed our opinions, just like how my opinion of Landon was formed based on the narrative that was being posted on social media about her. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to upload that interview with no commentary, uninterrupted, for Patreon members. It was horrible, Toby. It's just viewer well, what I'll do is I'll upload it without any commentary, but I'm going to let the chat run so we could chit chat as it's happening. But I just want it to be at least available without any commentary in its original format. So, and Sydney, I got you. I will send you directly the link. You don't need to be a Patreon member. Sydney is the one who originally asked for it and gave me the idea. I was like, you know what? I'll just upload it to Patreon for anybody who might be interested. And then also on Patreon, we are doing, I think there's another wait call, because I had gotten notified on phone calls from prison about an explicit call. I just have not had the chance to click over to check, but we're also going to do a conspiracy panel. So we're going to do a lot of Patreon stuff this upcoming weekend. Why would I ever want to drum that too again? I don't know what that means, Georgia. Hi, Carolina. Hi, Laria. Hey there, Triple C. Long time no see. Crown Crochet Cafe. I'm not sure, Katie Cats. I'm not sure. Yeah, it is a new call. Okay, then we're going to be going over that explicit call also. Prepare. Well, check tomorrow, Little Red, because I'm going to be on tomorrow and then through the weekend. So keep an eye out. Hi, Tiffany. Hi, Brandy. Marianne Morris. Yeah, it's maddening now. And a lot of people, I remember the first time that we had gone over it a long time ago, never even heard it. And then there were some people that heard it back then, but it's gone, you know? So I'm excited. Peace, love, and hugs. You too, Alvin. So here we are. We are moving on to part 31 of our Stauch trial recap. We have Daddy John Grusing up on the stand. Oh, that's so funny that you say that. Yes, the short answer is yes. I do think his breath stinks. And I'll tell you, I thought that in the moment that we were watching the body cam footage of them taking the DNA swabs from his mouth, the way his mouth was opened and the way she swabbed it, immediately I thought his breath stank. Hi, hippie chick. So anybody that is in the Florida area or in the path of the hurricane, please, please, please be safe. And my prayers are with you all. Now, before we begin, we are going to pull up our missing child for tonight's live stream. Our missing child is a fellow Jade. We have a fellow Jade. So this is Jade Quinones, and I apologize if I'm mispronouncing that. Jade Quinones. She has been missing since September 23rd, very recent, 2024, out of Canton, Georgia. She is 15 years old. Please take a look at this second photo because we have a very big, I feel like, difference between photo 1 and photo 2, which can be an issue. I feel like for missing kids, there are some of us who you could look extremely different from one photo to the next, if that makes sense. And I feel like Jade is definitely one of those. Maybe it's all of the makeup in one versus no makeup, all natural in the second. She looks much younger in this second photo. And it says both photos shown are of Jade, and she may travel to Orlando, Florida. So if you or anyone you know has information on Jade's whereabouts, please contact the Cherokee County Sheriff's Office at 1-678-493-4080. Hi, Terry. So, hi, Lee the Bee. I love that you crammed your name together. It used to be spaced out. It's still hotter than Hades in Arizona, but I'm not going to complain. Hope everyone is staying safe in the Florida area. Hell yeah. It is actually, Natasha, you're right. It is. We live in a very scary age where you, compared to photos and online social media presence to real life, it's staggering. All right. So are we? I'm so ready. I'm so ready. Okay. So we are moving on to a whole another day with John Grusing on the stand. That means we have a new Tisha shirt, a Tisha outfit, a Tisha hairstyle. And you know, that means that's going to be a whole new Tisha attitude as well. So let's pull up our next video, shall we? We also have some stuff going on with Kohberger's case. Kohberger appeared in court today for the first time with this new judge in new county. We also have movement with Sarah Boone's case. So I think I'm going to do like a quick little mini daytime live to kind of do like the catch up on where we are in the court proceedings for all of the trials we will be covering. Hi, Rhonda. New outfit, same stank. Yes, ma'am. Okay, so let me pull this video up. We're more than halfway through the trial, guys. We officially got there. Okay. So we would be here, day 13 in the morning. We're going to go full screen. All right.
Sticker. I'm just a small fish. Now put this
I was
back
kicked back,
on.
taking it easy.
I
will advise
super
lawyers.
chats.
Woo, look at Tisha. Okay. We got Tisha looking dank as ever. We have her hair fully down at this point with a little bit of a side part. Now, please don't forget, there is a day in the trial where Letecia looks down and she has a full-on X in her hair. Like, I kid you not, there is the letter X with her hair. I don't know how to explain it. Imagine the crown of her head, the top of her head. Her hair is divided into an X. It's the most bizarre thing. So I've been trying to keep an eye out for that day. So you guys please do the same. Let me know if you see X marks the spot. You remember, Rhonda? Hi, Lisa. And so hi, some golf girl. Yeah. Hi, Michelle. Hi, anybody. I miss Tony. So we have a whole new outfit, a whole new attitude. She got her tissue box. We got like a fucking thesaurus here, a water of the bottle, a very long microphone that defense never seems to use. And yeah, let's see.
As I do, we have an adverse weather event from tomorrow evening. Couple of things. We anticipate that there may be an adverse weather event. Some had a call concern, and that will tell you if there is B options and
thank you, Daddy Werner,
still
for
under
keeping us safe.
And we don't need it just yet, Judge, but at some point here in just a minute or so, we're going to need these screens turned on as well.
We got Daddy Grusing.
Good morning, Mr. Grusing. Did you have a good weekend?
I did, thank you.
Good. When we last had you on the stand, we had just played the portion of the video where you're talking with the defendant about the board that was found up in southern Douglas County. Do you remember that portion?
Yes.
And you used a word in your question, thrown, and then you got quite a challenge from the defendant. Was that consistent where she would challenge you on things that were maybe peripheral?
Yes.
Keith.
Can you give examples of that and what that meant to you during this interview?
Well, she used words like she was
Yes,
giving us
Robin.
keys And then if I wasn't correct on my guesses, which I had asked her not to have me guess since I didn't know all the answers, she would get upset if I didn't guess correctly on
Mhm.
whether it's Gannon's location or what she was doing when her phone was off, those sorts of things.
What do you mean by guesses? And give examples of what you mean when you use the word guesses.
Her head is already down, folded
So,
into the chair.
especially during this later part of the interview when I was asking her about the blood, more than once she would say that if I knew enough about this investigation, I should be able to say either where Gannon is or more details about what was going on that I couldn't guess too. So it was an effective way really for her to not answer my question and tell me that she knew things I didn't know.
Did that indicate to you fairly high intellect?
It did, and forward thinking, and that she knew that the questions that I was asking her would require a difficult answer. And so she was requiring the same out of me, something that was actually impossible for me to answer because I didn't know what she knew.
And as it relates to that, are you talking about Gannon's location at this particular time?
Yes.
Okay. Just after that portion of video where we were watching you asking her about the board with blood being found up in southern Douglas County, did you ask her, or I guess confront her with other pieces of evidence as well?
Yes.
All right, so the next section we're going to play is a shorter section. It's at 4 hours, 7 minutes and 13 seconds through 4 hours, 10 minutes and 13 seconds.
Do you know why I told you about that? I normally don't do this. Tell everybody all the evidence against them. Why do you think?
I don't know.
Because I think if you're to weigh this on, there's enough probable cause. A judge in Colorado Springs and El Paso has signed a probable cause warrant for first-degree murder. And all this evidence, and I'm telling you about the ones that I know about, and that's before you do, you know, all the phone stuff, et cetera, et cetera. And then versus you taking a chance that you're going to get out.
I'm not taking a chance for nothing because I didn't do anything, sir. Okay.
Here's Tisha again, not understanding the gravity of the situation that she's in. Grusing is saying, you're trying to take a chance that you're going to get out. And here is Tisha. I'm not taking a chance because I didn't do anything. I do kind of bounce back and forth between, do I think Letecia believes she can get out of this situation, where I think, yeah, absolutely, she believes she could get out of it. Then I bounce the other way with, there's no way Tisha can think she's going to get out of this situation. And I think, no, she doesn't. It depends on the day. I think both are true. I think there are times she actually believes she's going to get out of it. She could talk out of it. And then there are other times that I think she knows she's fucked. Both are true, in my opinion.
Okay, sir.
If you say you didn't do anything, do you know what an innocent person would do? I have had plenty of innocent people sitting in your chair. Do you know what an innocent person would do? They would be freaking.
Hey, Jerry Lane.
You are not freaking out.
Yeah, right. You think I haven't freaked out?
I heard you
like
freak out on the phone one time.
Think I haven't freaked out for days? You can't judge the way I freak something out one way and another way.
Sir, you can't judge the way I freaked the fuck out. Okay. You never freaked out for anything other than yourself.
Had the wrong person in a room like this before. Okay. And trust me, if they had any idea who did it, they would tell me.
Okay, well,
that makes no sense. And no jury will buy, no jury's going to buy that you sit here with an answer that somebody else took Gannon, that all this head wound and all this stuff happened in there. Do you think I don't know what I'm talking about?
Sir, I never question anything.
Well, you must, because you're taking a huge chance, Letecia.
Sir, I'm not taking any chance.
How are you not taking
because
a chance?
I know the man upstairs knows I did not do anything.
Well, he's not going to be on the jury.
Oh, okay. All right, we're not going to go there with that. We're not going to go there.
We're going to sensible people who we're going to present evidence in front of.
Hey, Chapo.
There's a higher power.
There is.
Higher power.
Letecia, if you believed in a higher power, you know you would be royally fucked. And this is where I do get very my interest peaks as far as the psychology behind her brain process, because I know she knows what she's done, right? She knows what she's done. But at the same time, I do agree with Grusing in a way that she pushes it so far back that I think she's convinced herself she's justified. I don't think she convinced herself she didn't do it, but I do think that she's buried it so far in the back of her mind, she's justified in her doings. And you could hear the way she talks, that definitely implies that she feels justified in her actions. She does not think she's a monster. She thinks she's the victim. She's the biggest victim of Gannon's murder. So it's interesting the way her brain works, that she should be scared shitless for the day that judgment is coming upon her from a higher power, but she isn't, or she doesn't lead on. And I want to know, is that because she's convinced herself she's justified?
We'll make sure.
I believe in the higher power as well.
I'm glad you did. That really makes me feel better. It really does. I'm serious. You know.
But Letecia, this comes down to common sense.
I do have.
And these prosecutors, I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about who you're going to be sitting in front of.
Okay.
And if you're going to take a chance that they're not going to listen to all this evidence, all this blood, all these stories that you told about Gannon, and that you have the key to finding him and you don't do it, there's nobody else to prosecute.
Okay.
Why won't you go there?
Why am I, what else am I going to say?
The easiest thing to tell me is the last time you saw Gannon.
I've already told you I'm not hurting. Okay.
But then what do I need to go through again the other things that might have happened to Gannon? Where did you gently place Gannon?
What?
I don't know how to phrase it.
What are you talking about?
I don't know, because I don't know where he is. If you want me to use a different verb or whatever, I'm struggling.
I've got it paused at 4 hours, 10 minutes, and 13 seconds. Why have you shifted tactics here to trying to now find Gannon's location as to getting descriptions of what happened to him?
Well, she seems to be more reluctant to answer questions now. And she showed me with the particle board. She got upset when I said she threw it. And as I said earlier, she gets upset if I guess. So I tried different verbs like placing it, setting it, those sorts of things. And then she will settle back down. So that's why I'm trying different ways to get her to communicate to me any other clue that might have happened with Gannon. So I'm just.
And it's so spot on because Letecia does do that. She's very particular about the word choice you use, the same way she'll freak out if Al says, all right, give me another version of the story. Story, you'll see her do this with Grusing also in the words he chooses just to describe what happened to Gannon. And that's because she is very particular about how to describe something she may have done. And she's always trying to lessen it and minimize it. The same way that she won't admit to her and Gannon ever getting into an argument. It's very typical for a parent and a child to get into an argument, not an all-out war, but an argument. Something as simple as it's time to get off the iPad and brush your teeth. Argument, right? Like there's a back and forth. But Letecia tries to tiptoe, of course, maybe, he may have given me a hard time. It's the same thing, but she is trying to walk as easy as she can around this circumstance. It makes her feel better.
Trying yet a different tactic again.
Including clues potentially towards his location?
Yes, Skylar.
Okay. When you go down this particular path of talking about last place that she may have seen Gannon, did she give you any keys that helped find Gannon?
No, and I had already asked her in the previous section who the last person was with Gannon, since she was saying it wasn't her. We had been through the angel routine, and then I was trying to see if she would push it to anybody else, and she's not. So since she's not pushing it to anybody else, she's basically saying it's her. So I just want her to say where she last saw him, whether it was in the house, whether it was at the Petco, whether it was at Palmer Lake, to give us some sort of clue of her last sighting of him.
Which is such a simple and direct question. And this is how to tell someone you're guilty without telling them you're guilty, right? Hey, Melly Lynn, he seek justice. So, okay, I'm not telling you had anything to do with Gannon's disappearance. I'm not telling you you hurt Gannon. Just simply tell me, when was the last time you saw Gannon? And she can't answer this, and we touched upon this a little bit on the last episode, because this is where your brain is going to tell you the truth, even when you're making the conscious decision to lie. So the brain is very fascinating. It's going to want to tell the truth. Your brain is always going to tell the truth. It's just we as conscious humans that make the decision to lie. But our body will literally fight us with that lie. Hence why you could pick out body behavior, right? Body language that is indicating the stress levels in someone, which could also indicate the lying. So every time John Grusing asks, hi, Chloe Jade, every time John Grusing asks Letecia, when was the last time you saw Gannon? Unfortunately, Letecia cannot control that her brain displays the answer to her. The truth, that image, which it would be a horrific image, understand what she did to that baby boy and how she stuffed him in that suitcase. So the truth is that it's a horrific last image. It's a traumatizing last image. Her brain can't just block that out. And so every time he asks, I want you to pay attention to her body behavior, because the truth is popping up in her mind. And then she has to use a different portion of her brain to make up the answer. But it's very hard to juggle, especially with something this serious. And thank you so much, Crime Crochet Coffee. Gifted a membership. Melanie, you were lucky enough to get it. Please make sure to show your appreciation. That was so sweet. Thank you so much. It is very fascinating, Dynamite. It's two different portions of the brain. So it is not recalling a memory for Letecia. She cannot recall that memory because she cannot be honest. If she actually tells him the answer, she's going to be admitting to the crime. So when he asks the question, one portion of your brain goes to recall that memory, but then she has to use a different portion of the brain, the imagination, right? She has to create a false memory. And so now you're juggling two different portions of the brain being activated at the same time.
You made a statement in that section that you don't normally tell people that you're interviewing about all of the evidence. One, why do you not typically do that?
We don't typically do that because we don't want the defendant or whoever we're in front of to testify falsely to something in case we give them too much evidence and then they say something they didn't do. Also, we don't want them to know what we know because I want their statement to be pure and that they're not just repeating what I say. With this interview, we had gone far enough to where we would do something called the collaborative interview, to where we bring the person in with us and we share as much as we can to try to get them to collaborate and cooperate with us, since I'm working towards a solution and I'm trying to bring her in almost as an investigator to help me find out what happened to Gannon. So the more facts that I introduce to her slowly, I'm hoping that she'll start cooperating with me.
So you anticipated my follow-up question is, why were you doing that in this case? But you just answered that. As this discussion sort of develops, does she then talk about faith in God and that kind of thing?
She does.
Okay, we're going to go ahead and play that. It's basically from this point forward to 4 hours, 14 minutes, and 6 seconds.
Kathy and Wendy.
Letecia, this is not about you. You're the one caught up in it, though. You're the one with all the evidence stacked against you.
Well,
Help yourself right now.
I don't.
Why would you not?
How am I not doing
But tell me what happened.
So what happened? Well, I don't know.
Right, Julie?
The way you
So I
described,
had to stand up for a moment. I was like,
absolutely.
Go ahead, stand up, Tisha. Get your stank everywhere. Go ahead.
The way,
That is also a tactic to gain time. You can't give a direct answer. You're getting pressure. So her even saying, can I stand up for a minute? Which of course, yeah, maybe her knees do hurt. It's been hours, but it's also a tactic because of the timing. Can I get up? Can I stretch? You're buying time.
wounds that you described to him don't even come close to the blood in the
then
house.
if that's what you think, then
No, it's not.
okay.
This is what people that do this for a living tell me.
Okay.
Again, I wasn't there, but a little gash on his head
Okay. So,
doesn't explain at all that stuff that's in there.
okay.
But do you want to go with that? Because when you walk out of here, the last thing on record you're going to have is what you told me. And I would love to be your storyteller.
Okay.
I would love to tell the true story. It will help you. You believe in that higher power you
Oh, I do. That's why. You
What
want to
about
know
the
why?
truth? Do you
wanna know-
study the truth?
You want to know why I'm not sitting here like going crazy, freaking out, putting on an emotional show like I've seen people involved in this situation put on fake cries and all that.
There we go. And it dig constantly at Landon or Al, right? I've seen people involved in this who put on fake cries. Why would an innocent person who didn't have anything to do with Gannon's disappearance at this point, right, even be taking jabs at the loved ones and family members of Gannon? Another, tell me you're guilty without telling me you're guilty.
Because I know God knows.
Okay.
I mean,
But what about the truth? You study the same Bible, the same God. It tells a lot about truth in there, and you have not told many truths in this whole thing.
well, I don't know that. Guess what? But let me tell you what happened this morning when I woke up. When I woke up this morning, I watched a story about Ron Gibbons. So he started this show. He ended up like getting talked down to, bullied online, treated like crap, accused of things he didn't do. And that's where he went to the accusation part. And so he went down this whole trail talking about how accusation, how this did to him, what he had to go through, and all that. But in the end, he kept his faith in Jesus Christ. You know about the story of Paul, you know about Saul in the Bible. Okay, I can walk you through a lot in the Bible. If you know what I'm talking about. So he turned those accusations into just keeping steadfast and staying strong, and to believing God's going to do this and keeping whatever. Because, you know, in the Bible, they persecuted a lot of Christians, right? A lot of them for things they didn't do right. But, you know, there's a lot of stories where God made sure they were
Hey,
okay.
honey.
So when I woke up this morning,
Yes, Robert.
I literally decided, God, you can take this and you can either A, bring Jason home, bring him to the front step, drop him off, so that I can please never have to worry about this again.
Right.
Or you can let me stay focused on believing in you, as in him, and just the truth will come out. And it's okay, because I don't want to sit here and accuse all these people of whatever. I'm not going to turn those same accusations against them for saying this and saying that, not believing this, not believing that. I'm just going to just sit there and say, I know I did not hurt Keaton.
With that, I get.
So I've got it paused at 4 hours, 14 minutes and 6 seconds. Did you go on from this basically to then try to get her to tell you more details about when she last saw Gannon?
Yes.
All right, so we're going to jump to that section at 4 hours, 17 minutes and 18 seconds.
So pay attention again to her body language. Every time, because he's going to start putting on the pressure. When was the last time you saw Gannon? What is the last image you have of Gannon? What was Gannon doing? And she really struggles here because he's going to say, I'm not saying you had anything to do with it. I'm just asking, what is your last memory of him? It shouldn't be an issue even if someone else does have him. But she struggles immensely with this because every time he asks the truth, the answer pops up in her brain. Just think about if I ask you, hey, what'd you have for breakfast this morning, right? Your brain is going to do a mental image of what you had if you had something, right? Your brain answers, and she can't block that out, and it's going to overwhelm her.
This is what she's looked like throughout this video.
And we will play through 4 hours, 20 minutes, and 3 seconds.
Go a different way. If you did something bad to Gannon.
I did not.
I'm saying we go if. If you did something bad to Gannon, could you ever admit it?
I'm not going to go.
This is not a trick.
But I'm not going to go answer that question because I did not do anything bad.
The reason why I ask you that is the people that I've worked with are actually put in prison for life. I've told them, and I've told people, the families of these victims, I said, if you put Harold in a room and you take everybody else out, we have absolute evidence that he pushed his wife off a cliff and that he dropped a car on his little wife and he was convicted. I said, even if you clear everybody out and you just have Harold in a mirror, Harold was a God follower, Christian like you are, I said he could never admit that he did that to either wife.
Well, I'm sorry that what's his name? Harold is that type of person because a God follower, I'm not judging him. I'm saying in order for you have to repent your sin to God, okay? You have to put yourself there. And in order to repent yourself your sins to God, it means also you have to lay them all down on the cross. And like, my sins are laid down. It is not involving hurting, harming, killing you. So I'm sorry that Harold or whatever his name is has like a different approach.
Well, I think you have probably a more serious problem than Harold does. You know where an 11-year-old is, and I'm here telling you we could go find him, and you are not giving us his location, alive or dead. So what Harold did was push a 50-year-old woman off the cliff. It was an awful thing, and the parents hated losing Tony. But Tony had lived a full life, as full as you can till 50. It was still tragic. Gannon's 11.
That doesn't matter age, you're right.
Yes,
tragic,
it
right?
does.
Yeah.
You just said
And
that.
if you had the answer, you would give it to us.
I don't know where he is.
But you won't answer my question about the last time you saw him.
Listen, sir, anything I say to you, you're not going to listen to me. You're going to take.
I'm not going to twist things, Letecia.
To be honest with you, I can give you speculation.
Okay, give me
with everyone else.
speculation. Please.
I can give you
I'll take
speculation.
speculation.
Speculation is
See, now Tisha goes, I can give you speculation. That way, anything I tell you, when it leads to nothing, I don't have to be accountable for it because I was purely speculating.
Speculation is being with someone who is not willing to hurt him until they get something they want.
Why wouldn't they make a demand then? Why would they hold an 11-year-old kid? That's more sadistic.
So as we talked about, we stopped it at 4 hours, 20 minutes, and 3 seconds. Why did you start this section out with asking, could she admit it? What was in your mind when you asked that question?
When it's a familial matter and someone that you really care about is the person that you've harmed. I haven't yet had someone who's admitted to me that they were responsible for that harm or homicide.
And so that's why you're asking that particular question?
Yes.
Okay. And then does it devolve back into now he's been kidnapped by some group?
Yes.
All right. Did you then confront her again about the blood on the wall?
Yes.
Does she bring up a miscarriage that she apparently had sometime prior?
She does.
All right, let's watch that section. It starts at...
Oh, she's going to bring up one of the 80 bajillion miscarriages she claims to have had, which also she claims she's pregnant at the time of this interrogation, which Spoiler alert, she's going to claim to have a miscarriage by the end of it. Not anywhere documented. There's no proof. She used this just as another toxic trait she has to lock in exes or Al and claim, oh, I'm pregnant, and then I had a miscarriage because I never was pregnant.
At 4 hours, 21 minutes and 47 seconds and goes through 4 hours, 23 minutes and 47 seconds.
And Your Honor, could Mr. Allen and I
All right.
I'm going to put this up on the screen. Just 1 second. Let me get a courtroom feed. The judge has prohibited us from showing any portion of the sidebars. That's by court order. So even though the WebEx is up and I can see the judge face, it is, you know, and you can read his lips. It's not. I'm not allowed to transfer that or to transfer that over. So we will do. Let's see. This one instead. You can see the back of an attorney. And Letecia with her head down doing the ring impersonation again today.
Yep. Samara.
It sounded about sounds like we're where the iOS to join his about it's easy. She did this here. No skater to them would probably remember talking about for a reason by insanity. If he so Gannon's dad has his with
47 seconds. And we will play through 4 hours, 23 minutes and 47 seconds. So exactly 2 minutes worth of video.
If you had nothing to do with farming Gannon, why would you clean up the blood that's on the wall?
So you're saying you've never had anything happen in your house and you cleaned it up? Never, like.
Sir, you're telling me you never stubbed your toe and then had your toe stub into the hangnail that happened to be growing for the last 3 months, which then created a cut in the inner side of your cuticle to where you bled, and then you kicked the wall and you did the Cotton Eye Joe and the Macarena, and then that blood spatter was all over the wall. Then you never had to clean that up, sir, at the same time that your stepson disappeared? Sir, are you serious, sir? Yeah, I mean, it happens.
Farming Gannon, why would you clean up the blood that's on the wall?
So you're saying you've never had anything happen in your house and you cleaned it up? Never, like you've never had like.
Why would you cut out the carpet?
The nosebleeds. The carpet?
Mm-hmm.
Because I was going to get more carpet. It doesn't.
Oh, Tisha, come on. Just put a smidge more effort in. The carpet? Why did I cut the carpet twice? And Leah, sir, I was going to get more carpet. What were you going to do, Tisha? Buy a fucking perfect square of carpet and replace it and not like super glue it down? What were you going to do, Tisha? If you were going to replace the carpet, you just wouldn't even bother cutting that piece of carpet out twice.
Carpet has nothing to do with cutting it out. It's getting smell. It stunk. I couldn't breathe. None of us could breathe.
She couldn't breathe.
Did you say that Lena helped you clean up some of the blood on the wall?
Lena always helps us clean up everything. Lena helped us clean up the light switch. Lena helped us clean up when Gannon had a nosebleed. Okay.
But
she specifically mentions the light switch. The light switch was one of the places that they were able to observe with the naked eye still blood on it. This is horrifying. This is likely true. And one of the things that Lena will have to come to terms with as she gets older.
Everything. Lena helped us clean up the light switch. Lena helped us clean up when Gannon had a nosebleed. Okay.
But for this occasion, she helped with that.
Now you're going to walk me back through what we've already talked about.
Hey, Riley.
So you're now going to go be like, oh, an 8-year-old this and an 8-year-old that. Come on. There was all the time. Gannon was bleeding all the time. He'd have a nosebleed randomly at the drop of a dime. He'd bite his fingers, bleed all the time.
Would it help if I gave you a picture of the wall of what all showed up on it?
Sir, that's not going to get me to say anything to you because I didn't do anything.
But what I'm trying to appeal to, though, is again, you weighing your options right now before we're gone,
Sir,
because you're taking a big risk, Letecia.
Sir,
and higher power. And that higher power is going to show the entire world. And when it does, I would never have to work a day in my life again.
oh, well, Lottie fucking da. Here comes the cocky Letecia on top of it. When the day comes that it proves I had nothing to do with this, not only am I going to be thankful Gannon is okay, or maybe not, because all that matters is that I had nothing to do with this. I'm never going to have to work another day in my life. Bitch, you never had. You never already have. You know what? Let me be clear. You've worked one day in your life and then left, and then worked another day and then got fired. And that, like, you've worked solo days. But it's amazing because this is her mentality. And I've showed you guys the messages with people on social media at this time. She was saying the same damn thing. I will never have to work another day in my life, but she never did anyway.
Higher world. And when it does, I would never have to work a day in my life again. And that's going to happen. Guaranteed. Because I did not hurt, I did not dispose, kill, whatever you want to call these things that you're going to name out as verbs.
So why did you confront her with the blood cleanup and, for instance, the carpet cutout?
We had talked about it before, but this is what I'm left with to speak with her about, is the evidence in the case to see if she'll move from where she was.
Were you trying to give her an opening to give you more details?
Yes, and I don't remember if I had brought up before Lana's participation in this, but I wanted to see.
Lana, you mean?
Yeah, Lana's participation, and to see how she would react to that.
Again, is it consistent throughout the interview that she would resist those opportunities when it related to the specifics of the crime itself?
Yes, and again, she said she sees the pathway where these questions would be going, and she says she's not going to go there.
Appreciating where you want to get to.
Correct.
From your perception, was that logical thought process?
Very.
Tisha
Shortly
is passed the fuck out. Tisha is legit one with the desk at this. She is morphed. I don't like. They're going to need a janitor to come in to wipe the pile of spit that would be forming next to her mouth. I told you she folds like the lawn chair. Yeah, that's what I'm saying, Berto. She is literally face planted, planking, one with the desk, okay? Which, put everything else aside, that is gross. Do you have any idea how many fucking nasty ass inmates and lawyers' hands are all over that all day long, and she is just face planted with it?
after this portion of the video, do you confront her with trying to get information about, hey, there's a boy out there. Help me find him. Help me get him home.
Yes.
Let's jump to that section. 4 hours, 24 minutes, and 29 seconds.
Letecia's head is now down on the desk completely.
She is the desk,
And we
sir.
will play through 4 hours, 32 minutes, and 50 seconds. So about 8 minutes. Judge, I'm not sure if you want to allow Mr. Grusing to step down during this 8-minute portion.
Thanks.
We hate to see you.
So starting it at
to watch
4
you
hours,
leave,
24
Grusing.
minutes, and 29 seconds.
And about why would you act like this when there's a boy out there?
I want Gannon, home.
Then tell me how to do it.
I want to help you. I don't know. I don't.
But see, that's where easy questions should be easy to answer.
Right here. Easy questions should be easy to answer. When was the last time you saw Gannon? Watch how she struggles.
I said, I don't know. That's an easy answer.
The easy answer is tell me the very last time you laid eyes on him. Where was he? Was he laying down? Was he standing up? Was he sitting? Was he walking to a car? Where was, give me your very last image of Gannon.
Where was Gannon?
That's an easy question. You have to.
Right now, the image is popping in her brain. She can't control that. You can't turn it off. Every time he asks, the answer, the image, what she last saw Gannon, how she last saw Gannon, pops up. Pay attention to body behavior.
That's an easy question. You have to remember your last image of Gannon. Letecia.
She's looking
What did
away.
he do?
Pay attention. Now her head is turning more towards the wall, which, yes, she's had similar body language this entire time, but notice that she's slowed down a bit, right?
Why would you not answer that?
Because I've given it.
No, you have.
Self-soothing. She uncrosses her legs. She cradles her stomach. She folds like a lawn chair. She is self-soothing right now, cradling herself, protecting her vital organs. She feels attacked. She's making herself smaller in that room because she feels prey. She feels there's a predator and she is the prey.
Why would you not answer that?
Because I've given it.
No, you haven't told me exactly what you saw when you saw him for the very last time. Did you see the back of his head? Did you see his face? What was his expression?
Watch. She's covering her face now because the truth is that it pops up in your mind, right? And so you're kind of rubbing over your eyes because you're trying to wipe away that image. But no matter what, every time he asks, it's right there. It's right there.
Did you see his face? What was his expression? Did he say goodbye to you?
She's struggling, guys.
Tell me of your last, I wish I could see in your head right now. Your very last image is there, but you won't tell me. Why won't you tell me?
Because it's nothing bad.
Well, then tell me. If it's nothing bad, you would tell me.
Looking away, cradling, cross legs.
Image of Gannon.
I don't
Please.
have any bad images of Gannon.
I didn't say it was bad.
I don't have any.
What's the very last picture of seeing Gannon alive or not alive that you have in your brain?
He is alive.
See, she's struggling. I'm not saying it's a bad image. I don't have anything bad. I'm not saying it is. It could be you guys getting ice cream and the next thing you know, he's gone. What is the last image? Is he standing? Is he sitting? Is he that? So it's stressing her out because she can't escape it. And her brain is going to struggle using the two different cortexes. It's going to struggle to be recalling the memory every time he speaks. And I love that he's repeating himself because if he gives a gap of space, it's going to allow time for her to not process that image anymore and to use a different portion of her brain. But he's repeating and repeating. And every time he asks, it's basically overflooding her mind and she's trying to use a different portion of it and it's not working and it's overwhelming her.
Picture of seeing Gannon alive or not alive that you have in your brain.
He is alive. I'm not
Then tell me the last time you saw him. What did you see?
Yes, I'm okay. Look, she can't. She's completely turned away. Pay attention to this. Look at her head. It's more going. Oh, she's about to literally full on do Beetlejuice, right? With his head flying around 360. She is trying to turn away from the person who is directing the words. So she's turning away from the words because the image is in her mind and she's trying to get away from it.
Letecia, like you said earlier.
Okay.
Being a good person, you didn't hurt him, you didn't do all this. I'm repeating it back to you. Why could you not tell me then? If all that is true, You know the last time you saw him. What would that hurt to tell me? Do you kind of think?
No, I don't.
Well, then tell me.
I
What's
don't
your
need any kinds of.
what is wrong with that question?
There's nothing wrong with the question. I've already made it clear that I wasn't going to answer more questions
You've never answered this one.
because
Little
you have already predetermined what you want in your brain along with everyone else.
Why do you care about what's in my brain?
So you
Hey,
just
Cherokee.
asked me about mine.
Yes.
Yeah, because your brain's the only one that counts here. It doesn't matter what's in my brain. The very last time you saw Gannon, where was he? What was he doing?
Did y'all put a reward out?
There's no need to put it.
Nice deflection tactic, right? Did y'all put a reward out? This is Letecia's way at flipping the script onto them. It is your fault he isn't found yet. You didn't put a reward out.
Can you please answer that?
Then you automatically have a predetermined thing in your brain.
If you give me something else, I'll go
Yeah,
there.
no, wow.
Why do you care about my brain, Letecia? Yours is the one that matters. What's the last thing you
Let me tell you
saw?
one more time. It will not hurt.
I didn't ask
Harm,
that. I did not
anything
ask
wrong.
that. I don't care. What is the last
I
image
think
you have?
all these places I've been.
Why don't you answer that question?
Why don't you
I'm just
answer me?
curious.
Have you checked all these places I've been and where was Gannon? Was he there? Doesn't that have to like sink it in the brain for a little bit to say?
You're going to live with it for the rest of your life, Letecia. Why don't you tell me today?
I'm not living with anything horrible in my brain. I'm not.
Okay, well then it should be an easy.
Shaking her head left and right. I'm not. But your body is saying differently, Tisha.
Question
I've given you the answer.
of the last time you saw him. No, you haven't. But I'm afraid it's not the image that you want to be left with.
What? Sir, that's not going to convince me to say something that I didn't
Okay,
do.
then maybe it is the image. Then tell me. Why else would you not tell me?
Because you keep going with the same question, and if you've already
And you won't answer it.
but you predetermined yourself.
No.
When I thought you were going to help, that was different. But you predetermined yourself.
You didn't
what
tell
to
me
say.
what the last thing you saw was, even with your answer there. And that's fine. If you want to tell me the thing with Angel, I
I'm not
don't
going to
care.
say anything other than saying, it will shock everyone. But I will promise you, I won't have to worry about nothing the rest of my life because I didn't do it. And that's
But
gonna-
you did. What's going to come out? That you didn't tell the FBI who took Gannon, if that's your deal? How is that going to shock
Thank you,
everybody?
Farley,
Okay.
from the 902.
Okay, sir. Okay.
I didn't think you were guilty until you don't answer the last time you saw him.
Sir,
I
you
have-
came in this
listen.
morning
No, I did not.
and you automatically thought that. You automatically thought that already.
I was willing to listen if you were going to give me evidence to the contrary. But I have talked to
Kathy.
many people who have seen someone disappear. It never goes away. That last image. of
Oh,
them.
well,
It
yeah.
never goes away, and you've got it in your mind, and you won't tell me.
right.
There's only one reason you won't tell me.
You're right. People do have, when people do bad things, their images stay in their brain. You're right.
Bad or good. A lot of these dads didn't know when the last time they were going to see their daughter.
I mean,
And they still remember it like it was yesterday, 14 years
oh
later.
yeah,
You remember the last time you saw Gannon.
yeah.
So tell me what you saw.
Nothing negative.
So tell me what you saw.
What I want you to watch is she maintained eye contact with him and agreed. Yeah, I remember the last time I saw Gannon. So tell me what you saw and watch her head immediately turn the other way. It's very interesting how the body language works, right? And so your body does not naturally want to lie. Your body fights you on it. And so she's maintaining that direct eye contact, right? The direct sight. But as soon as it's like you're blocking yourself from the words, right? As soon as he asks, okay, what is it? She turns away.
Yeah.
So tell me what you saw.
Boom.
Nothing negative.
So tell me what you saw.
I saw nothing negative. I saw nothing again.
You're telling me nothing. You're saying nothing.
Okay.
Just tell me what you did see, the positive.
Winning. Winning.
Where was he? Was he standing?
You said tell me what I see. I'm just going to tell you
Okay, I'm sorry to interrupt.
how Gannon was.
Okay.
Okay. Gannon was fine. Gannon, nothing was wrong with him. Gannon was happy. Gannon is my favorite stepchild. My favorite.
Gannon was happy. Gannon was smiling. Gannon is, she makes sure she uses present tense, my favorite stepchild. Is that, like, and I want you to realize that's how much she's struggling. She's struggling that much that she can't even describe what she saw when last being with Gannon. She's describing his mood.
I know everybody says they have favorites and things like that, or they say not really necessarily favored or whatever, but he was.
Do you remember how we
He
talked earlier?
definitely.
Remember how we
always-
talked earlier about when I ask you a question and you go around?
I'm not answering that question.
You're
for you
saying, you're
because
giving me qualities again, and you're not saying what
I'm
you
not-
saw.
I'm
You're
not-
saying he's a favorite stepson.
Sir.
What did you
Welcome, Jinky. Thank you for becoming a member. We're so happy to have you part of the channel. Welcome, welcome.
see?
Yeah.
Was he standing or sitting?
I didn't do anything to Gannon.
I didn't say you did. I said your last memory.
Okay, well, I didn't do anything to Gannon, so.
Do you have it in your mind right now?
She's struggling.
Seeing him for the last time.
Oh, well, it's not going to be the last time, but.
The last time you saw him. Do you
Not
have
gonna be
that?
the last
Do you
time.
have that picture in your mind?
Yeah.
Yes or no?
I know you're really good at what you do. I appreciate that. I know that, but I didn't do this. This
So
is
why
why-
don't you tell me the answer to that question?
Because you
It's
want.
not-
Why would
I'm
I
not con-
answer questions for you?
But that is not a hard question to answer. I'm not saying did you kill him. I'm not saying did you put him
I
in a
think so,
forest.
Chris.
I'm not saying did you put him in a dumpster. This is just your last image. You've got to have it.
My images are happy life. That's what it will
That's not
always
what you
be.
see in your brain.
Okay. Well,
Our
now
happy
you know my
life.
brain.
Yes, I know. You have an image of the last time you saw Gannon.
Okay.
If you didn't hurt him, why won't you tell me?
I already told you I didn't hurt it.
I know, but if you didn't, why would that image be a problem for you?
No, I don't have a problem with anything.
Then tell me. I'm not accusing you of anything, Letecia. Just tell me the last time you saw him.
Yeah, Beth.
At the very beginning, I'm sorry.
Not up yet.
And it sucks because I think, and Grusing did fabulous, so I'm not trying to critique him at all. But the way that he was going on repeat there for a while, I don't think she would have openly admitted anything. But I think that if he kept going, pushing, and not lightened up at all, she may have slipped and said something that could have been, and I don't want to say useful, because justice is served as best as it could be in this situation, with the restrictions, no death penalty. And I think, anyway, it would have been interesting to see how she would have cracked.
Oh.
You go ahead.
I'm going to ask the empty chair, Judge.
Okay.
The voice from behind me would have been interesting. Mr. Grusing, at the very beginning of this portion of the video, you start out with easy questions and easy answers. What was your purpose of that statement?
What do you mean? Easy questions, easy answers?
Well,
What are you rocking and laughing about, Cook? You want to talk a little bit more about closed loop cruise lines? What are you rocking back and forth and smirking about? Highly inappropriate.
that statement.
What do you mean? Easy questions, easy answers?
Well, easy questions should be easy to answer, basically.
Yeah, again, if she's saying that she's innocent of this, then the questions that I'm asking should be very easy for her to answer.
Did she give you any of these easy answers?
No.
again, here, it appears that you're sort of pushing back when she's saying, well, what's in your mind? Did she appear to be throughout this entire interview preoccupied with what other people were thinking about her?
Yes, and that was consistent with the phone calls. And what I'm trying to keep her from doing is manipulating her answer to see what I want to hear. I just want to hear what she knows to be true.
This whole issue about did you all put out a reward, that kind of stuff. This entire section, was this another example of her deflecting away from the thrust of information you're trying to gather?
Yes.
Right after this, does she then actually challenge you about, are you going to find Gannon?
Yes.
All right, let's watch that portion. Basically, from this section on through 4 hours, 35 minutes and 56 seconds. So just a couple of minutes. So if you're okay sitting there so I don't ask an empty chair questions.
This is an easy question compared to all the other ones we've done. Please.
Are you going to find him?
Yes.
Wow.
I would rather spend our time doing that because I don't have him. I didn't do anything with him, to him, or hurt him.
This is still her not understanding the situation she is in. Are you going to find Gannon? Yes. Well, I'd rather spend our time doing that. Letecia, you've been arrested and charged. She thinks, oh yeah, why don't we use our time to find Gannon? Like, no, like you're going to talk to Grusing and then you're going to jail. Like, she still does not understand the gravity of the situation she's in.
And I appreciate all your work.
You can help us more than anybody on this planet. You can help me right now find Gannon. Let's start with the one question I asked you.
I don't trust anymore for you because.
Well, just tell me why you don't want to answer that.
Because I've already, it doesn't matter. I can tell you I last saw Gannon when I went to the store this morning, and it could be legit true, and you would still be like, he was not in this. I mean,
I will be able to tell if you say what he's wearing, or not even what he's wearing, how he was walking, you will remember this. And just you not answering it means you remember it.
no, it doesn't.
Yes, it
Yes,
does.
it does.
Well, I'm glad that you now are a psychologist.
No, behavior.
I'm glad that you are now a psychologist. Bitch, this is where he specializes, Miss Ma'am. This is precisely his line of work, Miss Ma'am.
Well, I'm glad that you now are a psychologist.
No, behavior analysis.
Okay, good. I'm glad you have behavior analysis. I appreciate you having behavior. What else do you want me to say or do?
The truth.
I mean, what else?
So you don't want to answer that one.
I don't want to tell you anything else because
Why? If it helps find Gannon, why would you not tell?
because you already predetermined.
I didn't say you hurt him or anything. I think you know where he is, though.
You already predetermined this. You have.
The scene does tell the story,
Okay,
yes.
so if that's your story,
Who is your
then I'm not going to keep saying anything because I know that is not the case. So if I keep saying anything to you, you're just going to keep blah, 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 blah about it. And I've been
Blah,
nothing
blah,
but respectful to you. So I'm trying
You
to
have
remain respectful to you overall because I don't have any disrespect for you. I don't treat people like that. But putting me in a situation where I'm like saying to you,
PB and
I cannot say anything else because you've expressed you predetermined what you think. You've already done that.
Oh,
So no matter what I say, I legit could take you right to Gannon and he would be standing there and you would still say to me, well, that's not him. Or you
know how dumb, like, listen, as if you didn't already sound dumb, Letecia. And she used this manipulation with Al often on those pretext calls. But here she is. I could have Gannon standing right in front of you, and you would still blame me because Talento Tisha is the biggest victim of Gannon's murder. Does that even make fucking sense, Tisha? Gannon is alive and he's here and he's well and you didn't have anything to do with it. But let me just blame you. Tisha wants to make it seem like this is personal and they're just out to get her versus you're a dumb motherfucker. You committed this crime, this heinous, atrocious act, and you weren't smart about any of it. So everything leads to you. You want to be mad at them because it leads to you? Be mad at yourself.
You would be standing there and you would still say to me, well, that's not him. Or you would say something else. Just
Do you know how good that would be for you?
Oh, trust me. Yes.
Oh.
Then why do you care what
You know how good that would be for me? Absolutely.
Why do you care what I think? You should not care at all what I think. You said I wouldn't think. If you could take us to Gannon right now, that.
So this idea where she's saying she doesn't have him, did you later learn that that was actually a true statement?
Yes,
Because of where Gannon was ultimately found?
correct.
Later on in this interview, did you confront her with her ability to dodge questions and spin stories?
Yes.
All right, let's jump to that section at 4 hours and 39 minutes and 33 seconds.
Finally, this is going to be good.
Bless you. And we will play through 4 hours and 46 minutes and
Yeah, go
21
ahead.
seconds.
Bite
So
your-
about 7 minutes if if he's allowed to come down, Judge.
Up to him.
I think I can handle it this time.
Okay.
Just need to upgrade the chair.
You got away with spinning stories and dodging questions your whole life.
Yes, she did.
So now you know me my whole life.
I can look back a little bit. I don't know you when you were 5 or 13 or 16. But I think something bad happened and you've been able to avoid trouble. But that doesn't happen in this case.
Okay, sir.
These stories that you told are much worse for you than if you had just said, the best thing you could have said is, Gannon just went, and that's it. I'm not saying anything else.
Mm-hmm.
But you describing all these injuries to him, even to us today, is
Mhm.
awful.
Awful.
But it's not injuries like that.
Yes, you talked about it.
It's not injuries like that. Let it sink in. She described herself being brutally raped. Her and Gannon being anally penetrated by an object. Gannon sustaining horrible head injuries. Gannon falling off a bike and sustaining horrible head injuries. Gannon hitting his head on the table and sustaining head injuries. Burns, picking at the burns. Foot, hurting the foot. She described being taped up in the other room and just hearing the screams of Gannon and not knowing if he's alive or not. So her saying, oh, I didn't describe any bad injuries, it's so gross.
But it's not injuries like that.
Yes, you talked about it.
There's all the time. You
don't
raise
know.
children and they never got hurt.
I don't know why she does the K at the end of her words. I've never seen it like that. But here Tisha is again. You've never had a paper cut? Has your child never fell off a bike and scraped their knee? That's not anywhere near what Grusing is referring to.
There's all the time. You raise children and they never got hurt. Like they never.
Not all on the last day they're seen alive.
Was. You're making it out to be like some whatever. That's not even how it was.
Tell me how it was.
Gannon and I are very close. Okay.
Let's see that.
No obsessed with the most, but we also have to understand that by the time the autopsy was performed, Gannon's body was severely in decomp. The level of decomp was extremely significant to the point where we'll never know if he sustained burns, even though I do believe he did sustain burns, because we heard him even reference being concerned about the burns in the last video where we could hear him talking. And so there's a lot that they're not able to determine because of the level of decomp.
That's what you don't do. You say generalization.
And yeah,
I
curious
ask you,
Christine, you're also going to hear when we get to the defense, which we're getting near, we're in the second half of the trial now. The defense is going to push forward that Letecia gave Gannon almost daily enemas, and they did open the door to a very twisted, weird form of, this is where Tisha's mind was at, and she thought this was normal because of the abuse that she sustained. I don't actually believe that. Letecia would, I'll pose, because I know a couple of people went with it. I'll pose this to you. Do you think Letecia cared enough to ever get her hands, and I don't mean dirty, in a physical way versus, do you think Tisha would have ever put enough effort in to even do something like that for Gannon? I don't see her taking any time to sit there and let me do this. I don't think it was ever like that. That's just my opinion, though, and I respect everyone else's opinion.
how was it?
Why? I don't even know what you're asking me.
The injury that caused that pool in the corner. It's not a little scratch on his
Okay, why
head.
don't you test it and see what day it came from? If that's what you're telling me, why don't you test it and see what day?
So it didn't happen on Monday.
No,
It happened on Saturday.
I'm asking you. You are the one who are telling me, no matter what I say, you're telling me it's your way or no way. So why don't you tell me?
Well, I'm saying it's a significant enough injury that he was not going to be normal after that.
No.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
That's what they told me.
Okay, well, that is awful that people aren't normal after anything like that.
It's a significant
Because I had
injury.
puddles of blood. Remember that I had
We're not
puddles of
talking
blood
about you. We're talking about 11 years.
that I did, and there was no significant injury
Did
that I
you,
died.
Becky?
Do you not find that coincidental?
Right.
The
What?
blood on the wall and by his bed.
The
and on
blood,
mattress.
the blood that you or your team allow
Yeah,
people
Jade,
to be in the house.
That has no
Okay.
bearing on it.
Okay, well, if it doesn't, then okay.
It doesn't.
Okay, so, okay. Maybe check one of them.
You ready to tell me?
Maybe check one of them.
Hey,
Because
Lindsay.
I bet you they can tell me the last time they saw Gannon, even though it was
that's not the
multiple.
question.
I'm glad that you took a mental health break. Everyone needs it when looking into such heavy topics.
Or I bet Al can tell you the last time he saw Gannon, even though he didn't know that was going to be the last time. I guarantee you, he's got an image of Gannon. You were the last one with the show.
Okay.
Me neither, Melly Lynn.
What do I need to say to help you? I'm serious.
You do not want to help me.
Yes, I do.
No, you don't. You want me to tell you what you want to hear. That's what you want.
No,
Yes.
I have never wanted people to tell me what I want to hear. If it doesn't lead me to finding Gannon or the truth of this matter, I could care less what it is. Like I said, most of the time, I'm wrong. I have to have people like you tell me the truth. You didn't have anything to hide. You tell me your last
Don't
image of me.
have anything to hide.
Then tell me.
She's getting defensive.
That's not a guilt or innocence question. Just your last image of Gannon.
See, again, it's
Okay, now
circling back around. It's circling back around to that same question that she is severely struggling on. And all that tells me, even as evil as she is it's still overwhelming to her. Now, granted, she's hours in, she's tired. It seems like she may be coming down off of some type of medication and or drug. And all of these are factors. She has not slept. Please keep that in mind. She has not slept as far as REM sleep in at least 5 weeks. All of these are factors, but it must be pretty bad, which we already know. The last image she would have had of Gannon, I cannot imagine. But she's even struggling with it. It's over flooding her mind. Little Red, did you figure it out? Is it not a circle for you? Little Red just gifted 5 memberships. Kate got one. Our Al, Beth, Laria, and Sandy. Congratulations to all of our new members. Please show Little Red lots of love. That was so generous and kind. Thank you so much, Little Red. Little Red has been trying to do that since last week, man. So kind. Thank you so much.
You don't have to tell me the last time you saw him, just your last image in your head. What's the last image in your head you have of him? No. Or was he?
Yeah, you said that's image. That's the image.
I mean, was he sitting? Is he standing? Is he laying down? What's he doing?
Walking
Towards you or away from you?
away.
Letecia thinks she's smart. She's not. But here Letecia is. What is the last image you see of Gannon? She can't give an answer. She can't even form a lie at this point with the way her brain is working. So here Grusing is giving an option, right? Was he sitting or standing? Standing. Was he was walking. Was he walking towards you or away from you? Away. That's Tisha's way at, see? Nope, my last image was he was walking, he was fine, and he was walking away. Not me. Like, dude, you don't think he can see? Like, this is his career. He is brilliant at it. He is a legitimate expert, okay? And you think he doesn't see what you're doing?
Towards you or away from you?
Away.
Awkward silence. I hate awkward silences. Oh no, Crime Crochet. She can't make eye contact. She's struggling, guys.
Do you have any questions for me? Any questions for me?
So this is when Grusing really accepts that I'm not going to get anything from her. So he's saying, do you have any more questions for me? And she's like, do you have any more questions for me? Because Tisha, what you don't understand is, as we are approaching the end of our conversation here, you're going to jail either way. That's why you're a dumbwit. You would think after screaming how you wanted a lawyer after the Bethel interview on the news, you would be smart enough to, after you were arrested and charged with murder, you wouldn't ever sit down and speak without a lawyer present. But she, once again, truly believed she could talk her way out of the situation, because just like Grusing said, she managed to talk her way out of every situation her entire life, which led to a very entitled, selfish, narcissistic bitch like we have with Letecia.
Do you have any questions for me? Any questions for me? No, that's for you. Have I not asked you a question that I should be asking you?
Right, Natasha?
Anything? I don't have the answers to that. No, feelings that I can't talk about right now.
And she is folded into a lawn chair. She will not look at him. She will not lift her head up. Similar to what we see in the courtroom.
No, right, we'll spend it.
Yeah.
And this is when she starts to think about, I'm going to do what I did the last time. And when I say the last time, I'm referring to the Bethel interview. When the heat came on her and her phone was taken, she staged a medical emergency, which led to her being taken to the hospital. While at the hospital, she ditched them, had Harley and her friend pick her up, and left. And she got out of that situation. This is when she's going to realize it's nearing the end, and she's going to stage a fake miscarriage. So pay attention to her stomach and the cradling, even though she's doing that as a self-soothing technique, but you're going to see there's a different type of cradling that she's going to do.
All right, we'll spend it.
Yeah.
Anything?
Mhm.
Is there anything I need to ask you that I haven't? Just be I don't think they'll need anything.
Let me go to the bathroom.
Sure.
Can I go to the bathroom? Can I go to the bathroom? Okay.
Let's pause now at 4 hours, 46 minutes and 21 seconds. As to when you both leave the room and are off camera, what happened outside in the hallway?
Tell
I
us.
believe she went to the bathroom.
Do you then come back into the room with her?
We might have opened the door, but I don't think we do any more interviews in this room.
Okay. Why'd you go down this path of confronting her with dodging questions and spinning
Emily.
stories?
We had talked about it before, and she had told me that she has done that in the past as far as talking in circles, dodging questions. And I just wanted to bring that back around, something that she had told me, to see if we could go straight forward just once with this last image question I had.
Did she ever give you a straightforward answer to the last image in her head?
No. Jim John.
Throughout this long interview, did she exhibit that same sort of trait of dodging questions or spinning stories?
Yes.
That's appeared to you in your perception to be a calculated move on her part?
Yes.
Your final contact with her is back in this room, and it starts at 4:47:43 and then goes through 4:49:17. We'll jump to that now.
Too soon. And here, like I said, you're going to have to go to whatever the jail that holds you in. Colorado's got the warrant, so they're going to transport you.
Okay.
You have anything else for me? We can please talk for long today, but if you have something you want to say, I'll sit here for another 4 hours.
Where's the one?
The warrant's in the system. It's in the NCIC is what they call it. That's what they picked you up on today, was the arrest warrant.
Okay.
So you're going to be going back there. Anything else?
Yeah.
First degree murder for Gannon's death. That's what I was trying to come in here with you to help you. Is if we find Gannon, that makes a big difference. We'll let you go.
So he says, if we find Gannon, it'll make a big difference. And she says, you'll let me go? Well, bitch, if you're being sorry, and I'm sorry, I just can't. If you're being charged with first-degree murder and you find him and he's alive, I don't think they could prosecute you for murder. I don't know. Seems a little fucking obvious to me, but apparently you need to spell this out for your fucking Tisha over here.
If we find Gannon, that makes a big difference.
You'll let me
We'll let you go. If he's alive, would you might as well try it. I can't speak for the district attorney, I'm not an attorney. I'm an investigator.
Look at her.
If he's alive,
Sorry. Look at her. See, Tisha, you know he's not alive. You know he's not alive. You know what you've done with him. But look at you over here acting as if you're going to produce him alive.
would you might as well try it. I can't speak for the district attorney. I'm not an attorney. I'm an investigator. If he's alive and you can get us Gannon, yes. Good things will happen to you today versus getting shipped back to Colorado.
Can I talk to you about that?
Now look, can I talk to you about that? Come here. Let me get you in the corner, Mr. Grusing. Let me show you some PB&J. All right. Sydney, thank you, Sydney. Sydney gifted a membership. Kathy Swartz, you got it. Congratulations. Please show some love to Sydney. That's very kind. Thank you so much.
So we're now at the end of that recorded interview, essentially. Is she trying to have another off-camera discussion with you?
Yes,
Did you in fact have a short discussion with her off-camera?
yes.
What happened in that discussion?
Right outside the door, we now had police officers waiting to transport. So there were probably 4 or 5 law enforcement around us. And she said something in a small voice about North Carolina that I couldn't hear. And I asked her to repeat it. And she said that she and I should go to North Carolina.
She is willing to grasp at anything. So right as soon as that ended, right? And he even asked her, is there anything you feel like I didn't ask you that you want? Which I love that question. It's not something we see often, honestly, guys. For Grusing at the end of all of that, his composure, I don't know. Like, I think he's great. He is great. For him to just add, like, to be fair, you know, like, is there anything I have not asked you that you think I should? It's a very, I don't know, like, I respect the way he did this. He was very good at this job. And nothing from Tisha, nothing. But then right as soon as he's about at the end, Tisha realizes, oh shit, I'm going to go to jail. Like, shit. So she gets up and she's like, all right, here, let me talk to you about it. We should go to North Carolina. Bitch, why didn't you say any of this when he just asked you? It's only until you're about to be transported to jail that you then make up your next fucking lie. It's ridiculous. Angie, hey Angie, thank you so much for that super chat. That is so kind. Thank you so much, and it's lovely seeing you.
And she said something in a small voice about North Carolina that I couldn't hear. And I asked her to repeat it. And she said that she and I should go to North Carolina. And I asked her, is Gannon in North Carolina? And she didn't answer.
Was that basically the extent of that interaction?
Yes, what I recall.
Okay. In looking back at your, even your recorded phone calls that we've heard throughout this trial and in this long interview, are there any, I guess, regrets that you have as to your approaches, ways that you may have been able to get more information about what happened again?
No.
She brought up Quincy Brown to me, I think, within an hour or so of our interview. And then she said something to the effect of, if I wasn't going to talk about that, then it wasn't any use going forward. And in looking at the phone calls with Al, that's where she described most of Gannon's injuries, or a lot of them. And looking back and playing it through, maybe I should have gone more down the Quincy Brown angle to see if she would have been willing to disclose more things. That's the only thing I can think of.
The
He did
short portions that we didn't play through your direct examination here, were there any surprises in those portions that are different from the stuff that we saw in the video that we did watch?
No.
Did she act consistently in those portions to what we saw here?
Yes.
You in two different sections that we watched, you delved into mental health questions. Do you remember those?
Yes.
Throughout all of your interaction with her, both through those recorded phone calls and in this interview, did she ever express any history with severe mental health issues, diseases, defects, anything like that?
She did not.
Did she ever talk about sexual abuse that she allegedly suffered as a child?
No.
Did she ever point to specific people in her life, family, that she alleged carried out sexual abuse against her?
No.
Did she ever give you any descriptions of any commitments to hospitals?
No.
Did she appear to understand the gravity of the situation when you were talking with her? This is a first-degree murder charge.
Very well.
In what ways were you able to develop that idea?
Well, as I said earlier, she's able to see where different lines of questioning go and what would be damaging for her to answer truthfully. So, whether we're talking about evidence in the case or what happened to Gannon or her role or involvement, she stops that line of questioning before it goes down something that would be damning towards her in testimony.
So are you saying resisting giving more incriminating statements about the crime itself?
Correct.
Did that appear to be a calculated move on her part?
Yes.
Throughout your entire interaction with her, both through the consensual recorded phone calls and this long interview, did you ever observe her to change personalities?
No.
Did she ever talk in a Spanish accent?
No.
Did she ever demand to be called any other names besides the name that you knew her as?
No.
Did she ever use the name Taylor?
No.
Jasmine?
No.
Harmony?
No.
Christina?
No.
Little Lucia?
No.
Maria Sanchez?
No.
May I have just a moment, Your Honor?
You may.
Lucia
Might get some
Sanchez.
cross here.
You
And that's all I have. I just need
dumbass.
to disconnect this computer from here so that Mr. Cook has a clean podium.
Oh, we're
Okay.
about to move to fucking cross. All right, I'm stopping
Let's see,
it
Mr.
here.
Cook.
I'm stopping it here. All right, perfect place to pause it. Oh, I'm so excited. Sorry. If you can't tell, I'm really fucking excited. So, direct is officially done. Okay. We are moving on to cross. Now, we heard it's Cook. It's okay. It's Cook who's going to be doing cross. God, it's like watching it for the first time because I don't remember everything, and so I'm so excited because every time we either have cross that says I'm good, I don't need a question. Well, I had to stop it now because I don't remember how long it goes and I'm not stopping in between. So I always look for good breaking points. And I don't they either say I'm good with the witness or he only asks a couple of questions. Now, Grusing has been on the stand. This has been a lot. Don't forget, it started with the pretext calls, then it went into the interrogation, into these questions now. And so defense should have a lot of questions for Grusing. They should be getting into a lot of territory. But it's fucking Letecia's defense. So I love Seek Justice. I agree. I love that the jurors are able to ask questions. I think that they should allow that in every trial because it makes a big difference. You have to remember, us jurors are laymen. When I say us, I'm not meaning me. Like just when you get chosen to be a juror, right? You're not necessarily educated with the court system and the terminology. So even to be able to ask a clarifying question can really make a very big difference. I know it would for me. And so I don't see why they wouldn't allow every juror jury to ask. You know, I think it's great. I think it's absolutely superb. And even when they ask a juror ask a question that they know, hey, there's a witness down the line that would be able to answer this better, they save it for that witness. And it makes, and the jury always, and that's what it is too. I'll say, leave it be. Being able to hear the jury questions during the active trial, it really gave us an idea of where the jury was at, because they were asked great questions, but it would also give a little implication of where at least some of the jurors resided. And I loved it, and I think it's great. No, we could all smell her. We could all. I feel like she comes. The waft is coming through. God, that desk. She's like face planted. It's. But again, for someone who likes to observe body language like myself, does not scream guilt, right? How many times in these pretext calls did we hear Letecia say, I can't wait? We saw in all the messages when she was messaging people on social media, just wait for the trial. Just wait for, just wait. They won't even have a jury. I'm going to be walking away so much money, You should, all the stuff she said to Al, you'll have your moment, like you'll regret this. You should be sitting up proud. You should be feeling confident. This is your moment, especially when they're playing her own words. Yet that is when we see her crumble the most. And she stuffs her ears with tissues. And you know what I'm noticing, actually? She stuffs all of her crevices with tissues. In the Bethel interview, she stuffs her her hoo-ha with some tissues. Now she's stuffing her ear holes with tissues. Everything but her fucking nose, where a tissue is supposed to go, she uses her hand. I don't get it. Make it make sense. But she is not confident. She is not standing behind, hey, this is my time. I get to prove my innocence. Even her fucking simple body language in the courtroom, face down, folded like a lawn chair, stuffing her ears with tissues, screams, you are guilty. You are literally trying to run away from the situation you're in, and you can't. So you're trying to make yourself as small as possible because you feel like a prey. You are trying to protect your vital organs. You're trying to make yourself unseen in this room, and you're trying to literally block out your senses, whether you're visual, right? She uses her hair to cut off her peripheral vision. Nobody can see in. She can't see out. She's looking down to keep herself feeling small, to keep herself zoned in on one spot, and she takes away her hearing so she doesn't have to hear any of it. And so that is not someone who is confident, and I am an innocent person. So, all right, guys, tomorrow is Wade. So Saturday, we will be, I'm so excited. We're going to be doing cross, redirect, and jury questions for Grusing. And it's so sad because I don't want Grusing to get off the stand, but we are slowly making our way towards Dorothy Lewis. And I don't know if we're ready for it. I remember, all I know is I was laughing my ass off. And it's not, the trial is so horrific. So let me be clear, but I was laughing my ass off at how disrespectful Dorothy Lewis was. And she was the entire defense. And that's what I was laughing so hard, because I'll never forget, like, Judge Werner literally saying, like, all right, tomorrow we're not going to be late, right? We're going to be here. It's going to start at 9 a.m. on the, of course. Yes. No, I won't be late. And we also, because we're watching it live, and 10:30 comes around and the Judge Werner's like, send the jurors out. She rolls on in, and he's like, Dr. Dorothy Lewis, like, yeah, what happened? And then the second part where before they let the jurors in, okay, I'll never get over it. I've never seen anything like this in my life. Okay, before they let the jurors in, because she's already been a problematic witness, prosecution's like, listen, if these records of Tisha's medical history exist, I need you to, like, Your Honor, like, please make the witness produce this, because I don't want her, once the jury gets let back in and she's on the stand, for her to all of a sudden pull these documents out. And Judge Werner's like, do you have these? No. all right, jury come in. And then like fucking like it was insanity. Prosecution's like, well, do you have any documents to back up what you're claiming? And she goes, matter of fact, I do. And she goes in arm deep in this Mary Poppins bag, like she's digging on the other side of fucking Narnia, okay? And she pulls out the stack of medical papers she just swore to Judge Werner didn't exist, okay? And they got so mad. They got so mad that they made the jury leave again just to scold the situation, because we're like, did we not just ask you, you better not turn around and pull those papers out of nowhere? And she's like, no, sir, no. And then she's like, as a matter of fact, I have them right here. It was the craziest shit, man. It was the craziest shit. So as you can see, I'm very excited because I've never watched that part again, and I really want to watch it. But I do know we have the Google searches coming up. We have, dude, he called her to, dude, it was glory. And then when Judge Werner scolds her for rolling over, well, he didn't scold her for rolling over his audio wires. The defense came in, they fucked up, man. Like everything was bad. And they unplugged some of the wires so she could roll her ass over. And Werner's like, I don't come to your apartment and start moving around your futon, so you don't come to my space and start fiddling around with my wires. It was just epic. And it's just, like when you're watching it in real time, it feels so much more intense, It felt intense. And then her fucking son gets scolded, looking like fucking Sean Penn in Fast Times at Ridgemont High, poking smut in the stairwells, okay? And Judge Werner, and it pans across to like everyone in the, in the audience. And it's like, I'm not pointing fingers. And everyone's in like, the camera just scrolls by and everyone's in like suits and dresses. And then all of a sudden, right in the middle, it was like a character Spicoli. And he's like looking to his left and right, like, was it you? It was so obviously him. It was funny shit, man, because you can obviously tell who was the stoner. But he was trying to like look to his left and right, like, oh no. And then there's one more golden moment that I could remember. And that was when they're playing a video. They're playing a video as evidence of a recording between her and Letecia. And they're like, who is recording this at this time? And Dr. Dorothy Lewis is like, it was some kind of camera guy. I don't know. I can't recall. And they were like, oh yeah, give us the B-roll footage. And then the video starts to play. And then all of a sudden, out of frame, you see fucking this guy start walking, and they're like, pause it. And they were like, that right there. And it's like a guy mid-swing with his arms walking out of frame. And they're like, who is that? And she's like, oh, yeah, he looks familiar. And then the prosecution is like, is that not the blood of your blood? Is that not your spawn? Do you not recognize your own flesh and blood? And she's like, oh, yeah, that might be my son. So she made it seem like it was a fucking professional cameraman. No, it was her son who tagged along to these fucking interviews with Letecia, the stoner son. Pay you no mind. It was the stoner son who also happened to be recording these fucking interviews used to try to prove her insanity. And it was just hysterical the way they freeze framed it, because it was like Bigfoot being caught like walking like that, you know, with the arm swinging. It was the funniest shit. And I just got a kick out of it because her entire defense, there was only 2 witnesses. The first witness wasn't even a witness for her. It was just very quick, 10 minutes, just coming to confirm that she did at one time come in to the doctors and express anxiety. Like, that's it. So everything hung on Dr. Dorothy Lewis, and it was bad. It was the worst defense I'd ever seen. So yeah, obviously you can tell I'm very excited for it. We will watch this next part with Grusing. Sad to see him leave, but he's incredible. He's incredible. And so we will continue off and finish with Grusing on Saturday. If you are a Patreon member, please, again, keep your eye out tomorrow. We will be uploading and going live with the Lost interview with the neighbor. And we're going to be doing a couple other things over the next few days over on Patreon. If you're not a Patreon member, if you'd like to become one, I will drop the link. If you can't afford, at least become a free member, because you do get access to some of the things posted on Patreon and some of the lives. So definitely go check it out. I hope you guys all have an amazing rest of your night. I will see you guys tomorrow. And yeah, talk to you all soon.
Any objection?
All objections.
The people are like really nice. Like everybody knows my name.
Sometimes you wanna go where everybody knows your name, and they're always glad you came. You wanna be where you can see our troubles are all the same. You wanna be where everybody knows your name.
Flying down the highway in a makeshift Model TA. Woo, yeah, woo. It's a beautiful morning and it's gonna be a beautiful day. The wheels are humming, the guitar strumming, and our radio is blasting and good sounds are coming as we're flying down the highway in a makeshift Model TA.
She keeps on.
Keep on, keep on, keep on dancing all through the night.
She keeps on.
Keep on, keep on doing it right.
She keeps on.
Keep on, keep on moving.
She keeps on.
Keep on moving.
She keeps on.
Dancing all through the night.
You can hear the music over 26 miles away. Smiling is a happy, and happy is here to stay. Yeah.
Keeps on. Keeps on. Keeps on.
Keep on dancing all through the night.
Keeps on.
Keep on doing it right.
Keeps on.
Keep on moving.
Keeps on.
Keep on moving.
Keeps on.
Singing and dancing all through the night.
Keeps on.
Keep on dancing all through the night.
She keeps on talking to me.
Keep on doing it right.
For the interviews, because I don't have any fancy clothes.
You go to my closet, you take whatever you need. Okay, Brennan, you guys got to look sharp. It's the most important day of our lives, okay?
Okay, Dad.
What's your name? What's your age? Where you from? What's your sign? Who you love? What's your style? What you do? What you drive? Stop, drop, and roll. Do that. Do it like a pro. Do that. Stop, drop, and roll. Do that. Do it like a pro. Do that. Fit top, rollie, boy, we know you phony. Take her to the mall and buy her what she want it. Already smashed, so I'ma let the homie. RP RP my cash and RP a Kobe. If you're born in September, then you know you're my type. If I see you on Tinder, then I gotta swipe right. If you're born in October, then you're just like me. Here's a resume, can you fill this out, please? What's your name? What's your age? Where you from? What's your sign? Who you love? What's your style? What you do? What you drive? Stop, drop, and roll. Do that. Do it like a pro. Do that. Stop, drop, and roll. Do that. Do it like a pro. Do that.